Hello, I am Fresno City Councilwoman Esmeralda Soria. As a member of the California Homeless Task Force, we are working on solutions to our homeless problem. In the last year, Fresno has opened 5 new shelters to house hundreds of our homeless families with drug treatment, mental health, and support services. This year, our governor has committed an additional $11.5 million to fund treatment programs and housing. If you or someone you know needs help, contact our office for a referral.
Today our guest is Esmeralda. She's running for Congress. She's our local council person, woman, I say woman. And she's been working on this homeless issue for quite some time.
Esmeralda Soria, thank you for being here at Yo Soy.
Housing is big. So housing, building affordable housing also is kind of part of the homelessness issue. And so what I want to do is make sure that we champion that issue, that we bring additional resources. For affordable housing units, the city of Fresno only receives about $2 million a year. If we think about how expensive it can be to build an affordable housing unit, that would get us 4 housing units out of the $2 million. That is not enough. That would be, 4 every year. So what we need to do is expand the resources that we have so that we're building permanent affordable housing. We know we live in a city where there's a lot of poverty. Wages haven't gone up at the same rate as the cost of housing. So a lot of people are paying about 70% of their income towards housing. So we know we have a problem, so we have to build more housing in the city of Fresno. I would say we need to prioritize housing in areas like the BRT corridor, downtown, in that inner city. And so we need a lot of investments. With the county, we've agreed on a comprehensive plan together, and so we just need to continue to build on that. We made a decision to work together last year when those resources came to the city, so we just need to build on the success that is already there. So what needs to happen is we have to have a greater vision, not only for the city of Fresno, but for the entire Central Valley. I think that we have shortchanged the community residents. We haven't done enough. We haven't focused on the real issues.
That's right.
And that in our valley, in our city, we need change.
I'm excited about your run for Congress. Now, correct me if I'm wrong, but if you were elected, would you be the first Congresswoman or what would this be?
Yes, actually, we've never had a woman in Congress.
It's about time.
In the entire Central Valley.
Really?
Right.
So from Kern County all the way to
DeSantis girls
to
in
like
Orange
Merced County, we haven't had a woman.
It's time, don't you think?
Absolutely. Absolutely. I believe that being a woman brings a different perspective. And, just to share one incident, even just to highlight how we can bring a different perspective. At City Hall, when I was first sworn in, that day I had a young mom friend who was there with her child who needed a diaper change. Her baby did. She went to the restroom. There were no baby changing tables at that time.
Oh, no.
So she had to change his diaper on the floor, right? Who wants to change a diaper on the floor, right? And so what I did, as soon as she told me her experience,
oh my God,
I made a conscious effort to partner up with First Five. They had some grant dollars because they were trying to encourage businesses and government buildings to bring changing tables, to make it a welcoming, public building. So what I did, not only did I champion to bring changing tables in the women's restroom, but also in the men's restroom, because men also have kids.
That's right.
And in addition to that, there are a lot of young moms in our building that we want to encourage them to breastfeed their kids. So we created a breastfeeding room so that they didn't have to go and pump in the restroom, in privacy.
Good.
That's great.
So it's like those kind of perspectives that I believe are valuable to the policy conversations that take place on a daily basis at every level of government.
Absolutely.
Yes, we need
I think it'd be refreshing to have a woman in office. Central Valley. I came from Orange County, where we had dual sisters. You remember Loretta Sanchez, right? I spent a career at Chapman University, where she was a graduate from there. So we always talked about her and just her record, and it was just amazing.
Great lady.
Right? A strong woman. It'd be great to to see that here in the Central Valley.
No, I think it is great. I think it's also important for our young women in our community to see someone
You're an
that,
example.
Yeah,
Absolutely.
because you know what I tell a lot of my students. I'm also a professor. I said sometimes we feel we can't be what we can't see.
Absolutely.
And so it's time. We live in the Valley. It's 60% Latino. We've never had a Latino in Congress north of the Tehachapi Mountains. Think about it. So north of LA area, we've never had a Latino in
The
Congress.
Tehachapi is Bakersfield.
So,
That's Southern
yeah.
California.
So the person you're running against,
Mr. Costa.
he's not Latino.
No.
If
As far as I'm saying.
if you were elected, how would things be different?
Well,
Yes.
one of the things that I've committed in my election is to not take big corporate money. Because what I've seen in Washington, D.C. is that the big corporations and these big interests essentially have muted the voices of working families. So my campaign is focused on uplifting working families. We have a lot of poverty in this valley. You know, our current representative has had 4 decades
Wow.
to work on these
That's what I'm
issues.
saying.
That's unacceptable.
And
That's
for me,
unacceptable.
and for me, I'm saying we can't continue to do the same
No.
and expect different results.
Right.
We need to try something different.
Well-
You know, I'm a daughter of farm worker immigrant parents, you know, that have worked their tails off.
Well, plus, I think we need to touch real quickly on your track record. I mean, I'm new to Fresno. When I first moved here, I started going to the council meetings, and I was just in awe of your presence. You were just so dynamic. I mean, you weren't afraid.
She speaks her mind.
You were tough as nails, and educated, and just, I thought, well, see, I came from the Loretta Sanchez place, so to me, I'm like, this is great. This is normal. This is fine.
The thing is she's done a lot in such a very short
You've
period
done a
of time.
lot.
Yes, in her short, it was about 4 years now.
No, I'm on my 6th year, entering my 6th year.
Okay, so in that short period of time, whereas the other folks, they've had 4 decades, that's 40 years.
You've done a lot for your city, and I think people who know what you've done, and they can easily see you would fit this position incredibly.
Thank you.
A good representative of the people.
She would fight for the Central
the
Valley.
people.
And then,
Right.
you know, one of the also commitments that I've made to individuals, I don't know when was the last town hall that our current representative hosted. In the
That's
5
right.
years that I've been in office, and I've represented about 80,000 people, I've had 45 community meetings in the evening and morning coffees, because I want to make sure that if people can't go to City Hall, that City Hall is coming to them. That
That
to
was the
me is
first-
extremely important.
No, okay, it's easy to do. Maybe it's easy to do that when when you have 70,000 constituents, right? But when you're a mayor, 500,000, or you're a congresswoman, a lot more.
Well,
Is that going to change?
Well,
No.
I don't know if I could do 45, but I will definitely commit that every single year I'm going to be out and have several town hall, minimum 1 in each county, and then I'm going to make sure that I'm going out to every community like I've been doing during this election cycle, city, unincorporated community, to essentially not just talk to people, but listen. That's how I've been able to solve the problems at City Hall. I take from what is expressed at these meetings and try to
Absolutely.
problem solve and bring resources
great.
to address that.
Well, the first time I met
great.
her, she also came up with the format that hadn't been used before, as far as that first meeting that we talked about.
Yeah.
Yeah, and people weren't used to it, so that was good. They were just like, what do you mean? Show up and we're going to be
I'm
part
excited.
of a team, to be
Yeah.
a
I mean-
committee, to actually make decisions in our district.
Yeah.
And they did very
I mean,
well.
isn't it a no-brainer? Everyone should vote for you. I mean, I
appreciate
don't. What
that.
are the reasons not to vote for you? I
Right.
mean, you're amazing.
Yes,
No, thank you. I
yes.
appreciate that. Well, we have a lot of work to do, 20 some days.
How can we help? What
before-
can the community do to help?
Well, you know, they can share our information. We are on social media. We're on Instagram, Facebook, Twitter. We want to reach every single person, regardless, you know, of age, race, gender. We want to make sure that people know who we are, what we are about. This is bigger and greater than just one individual, that we all have a stake and we can all be part of something to bring change into the valley and just build a better future. I'm excited about what this valley can be. There is so much opportunity,
my
but I think
God,
that we
yes.
need people with vision and that are willing to work hard
Like you.
and stand up.
It,
Yeah.
it is
So-
a tough job. I mean, it's
It is.
constant on the job, on the go, planning strategically so that you can, and analyzing things and bringing it, doing a lot of research to bring it all together. It's just not a one-day thing. It's like, you're probably not getting much sleep, are you?
Not nowadays.
What's that?
You know. I'm like, I can sleep after the primary for a little bit, and then, you know, we're on to November. But we want to encourage every single person also to make sure they check their ballots. Fresno County is unique in this election cycle. They adopted the Voter Choice Act, which means that every single person actually is going to get a ballot in the mail. They're going to have about 11 days to vote because there's voting centers that are going to be open not just for election day, but actually for 11 days. And there are boxes out there, drop-off boxes in various places in the neighborhood, not too far from here in the tower.
Right.
We have one right on with Sean and Olive. So people have more ways to vote.
That's great.
We're hoping that this will provide every single person an opportunity and access. So we're trying to make it easier, and so we want to encourage every single person to get out and vote
Just so you
before
know,
March 3rd.
We've
you.
been running that clip already, showing
Good.
all the addresses. I began that at the beginning, well, the last of January, because
Good.
it was a little bit different. I have the addresses and everything there. So we're going to continue to do that.
No, that's
And also, I found out that for the homeless, they just have to tell the cross streets and they'll still let them vote.
Yeah, and actually you can show up the day of, register to vote, and vote. You'll probably vote provisionally, but you
It'll
can
be
still,
counted, right?
yeah, you can still vote. So
Well, we-
more ways to get involved and to make a difference in this
Right.
election. It's
Good.
so critical.
So your next big town hall will be when?
Our next for community meeting for the council probably later in March, early April.
Okay.
So we're going to be hosting some wonderful things. Every year I also do a Women's History Month event where I recognize outstanding women doing phenomenal things.
We really appreciate you coming into the studio so that we could talk about the homeless issue and whatnot and your run for Congress. And please let us know what we can do to help. We wish you the best.
Thank you.
And
Absolutely. We're excited for you.
Thank you. I very much enjoyed my time here. Invite me any other time you want.
Thank
so
you.
thank you for tuning in to Yo Soy Neighborhoods Fresno, and watch for Esmeralda Soria's information out there. And let's get Fresno on the move. We have lots of work to catch up on. 30 years. Right? Thank you. Bye-bye. Thank you for tuning in to Yo Soy Neighborhoods Fresno, coming to you from beautiful downtown Fresno